We're out here at the Greenbrier. This is the Meadows course, and I'm gonna give you the #1 tip for chipping onto the green. 4th hole here, par 5. I'm probably gonna be chipping after this. Well, hopefully, well, unless I'm putting, but I'll probably be chipping. 242, 5 wood, gonna be chipping. I'm gonna give you the keys so you can get up and down more often than not. Do you struggle with these shots around the green? Well, we're gonna help you out so you can hit more great ones more often than ever before. Because it should be a pretty simple deal for you. Oh, not bad. If you do the right fundamentals, go in. Could make at least 3 or 4 of those, save par every single time. Well, 3 out of 4 times. It's better than 0 out of 4. All right, we are right here. We're chipping, little chip shot. And here's something nobody tells you. Whether you're using a high lofted wedge or one of your other clubs like a 7-iron or pitching wedge, here's what you have to know. One is this, is that your 7-iron, this actually has a lot of bounce down here. Like it's like 10 degrees of bounce or more on your irons. Bounce is the degree of which the club comes below the leading edge here. This is the bounce. We have to use the bounce on our chip shots. If you're using a high lofted wedge, the best way to use the bounce would be to open the face up a little bit. That's why a lot of people use their 7-irons and things like that, because they don't necessarily want to open the face, but they want that sole and that bounce to engage with the earth. And that's a great way to do it. The thing is, these two are really the same. You just have a lot more versatility with the higher lofted club because you could take it low or you could take it high. Regardless of what you use, there's some keys that we're gonna go over so that you can have the best chipping game you've ever had in your life. So what I would do is this. I would start off with your 7-iron, and we're going to, with this club, feet are narrow, weight slightly forward, and that ball, I do not want that ball back in my stance. You start getting that back in your stance, what you're gonna do is de-loft that club, and the 7-iron is gonna turn into a 5-iron. We don't want that. We actually want the 7-iron to turn into like a 9-iron. So we're gonna move it way forward in our stance. And because it's such a low lofted club, the 7, the chances of chunking it are a lot less than if it were a wedge. But we wanna get comfortable with this. So forward in our stance with the narrow stance. So we're talking right off the instep of your front foot. And weight is gonna be like 80% on your left side. That's what you want. In the hands, when you start getting those hands forward, again, we're de-lofting that face, and we want that face to be more lofted. So we're gonna have that club really in my belt buckle. And some people like a putting grip, whatever's comfortable for you is fine. But we definitely want this pendulum stroke back and forth. And then the #1 key for you in your chipping is gonna be this. What are you chipping with? I do not necessarily want you to lead with your hands in the chipping, because then you're going to be de-lofting that club and coming at a steeper angle. So we don't want that. I want everything connected, and I want you to feel the swing power to come from either your chest or your arms that are tucked into your body. So it's more your body with your arms attached to it, and your core. This is where all my swing is gonna be coming from, right in here. So although it looks like I'm just going back and forth like a putting stroke, I'm really turning around like this. And we're getting a lot of motion here. That's gonna help you. Even if you mishit this a little with the 7, it's going to be a good shot and run out. Now, I personally don't like a 7-iron in these situations for that purpose. It just runs too far. If I have a longer shot, then great, I would use it for that. But I want you to start with the 7-iron and then move on to a pitching wedge. Because ideally, I want you to get to your most lofted wedge, because that's gonna give you the most versatility and the most confidence in your game. So then what I want you to do is grab your pitching wedge, and I want the same exact thing. you did with that 7-iron. The only difference now is I want you to open that club face a little bit more. So there you go. I just open that face a touch here, and it's the exact same swing I just did with the 7. And you can see it, a little more check, a little less run, still too far for these fast greens here at the Greenbrier. That's why I want you to go eventually to a high lofted club. And it's gonna be the exact same thing, but you gotta work your way up from 7 to 60 or 58 or 56, whatever your most lofted is, and it's gonna be the exact same thing. Ball position identical, weight identical, open that club, engage the bounce, identical, and we're turning the body, rotating the body around ourselves. And that's the 60. And because we had great rotation, the ball came out with a nice amount of spin and check, and that's the kind of things you can do with the most lofted club in your bag. But until you're comfortable with that high lofted club, even on these tight lies, go back to your 7 and just keep opening the face more and more and more until you get comfortable with that open face. If you're liking this short game content, make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and let me know down below what other stuff you guys want to work on, because we're here to help you get fixed up all the way around. Now back to the video. So why do I want you to graduate to the 60-degree wedge? Well, because you're gonna need those exact techniques for shots like right here, right off the green when you miss the green. 5th hole, Meadows course, Greenbrier. You would never use a 7-iron here. That would be very, very challenging to get this close. Some people might do it because they're so scared of the high lofted 60-degree wedge, but with the techniques you're learning, and I'm committed to helping you all with your short game, you're gonna be fine from here every time. This is the exact same chipping technique as before on a tight lie. Ball a little forward in your stance. Face is gonna be open. And the #1 key is this. When you swing, you cannot take that short swing. When you short swing this, you start accelerating fast and you drive those hands in like this. It brings in the hosel, shank, and it totally defeats the entire purpose of the stuff we're trying to achieve here. We want that club head to pass the ball. That's where we get our speed. And so we need to take a little bit longer swing than we would think and let the weight and gravity of the club head pull it down as we rotate through the shot. The more you practice this, obviously, the more comfortable you'll get with it. But it's a very loose and soft. You could take a swing this far as long as you don't pull the handles. You gotta let it drop down, let gravity pull it, and that's why the rotation is so key. Because if you have to rotate a little bit through the shot. So we get this soft, little soft toucher. Let it fall, and you can pop it right up there, down here. These are tough little shots. You're just letting that club head fall and accelerate through. That is how you are gonna save par more often than not with the proper chipping techniques. Thanks for watching. I love you guys. We'll see you in the next video.